In this tutorial, we're going to be making boxes with LightBurn and an online box maker of some sort. So let's open up the internet here. In the search bar, I'm going to type in laser space box space maker. Okay? And Maker Case is a really cool one. It doesn't come out right. I'll show you how to fix that though. But Maker Case is a really cool site because it gives you previews. And so what I'm going to do, I'll do a basic box here because this is like the intro here. Okay, I don't like working in inches. If you like working in inches, you can leave it there. I like working in millimeters. Okay. And so I can choose my width, height, and depth of the outside of the box, right? It's a little buggy if you do the inside of the box, but if you do the outside, it works just fine. And then you can compensate for thickness. But let's say I have like 150 millimeter by. It's weird that it has height there too. It should be width, depth, and height. 150 millimeters, about 6 inches wide, 6 inches deep, and then about, I don't know, 80, so about 3 inches tall. There we go. So here's our box so far, right? And we want an open box. There we go. So this is what it's going to look like so far. I'm just left clicking, holding my left click and dragging to check it out. And I want finger joints. There we go. So there's some finger joints. I like a lot more finger joints though. So I'm going to apparently bringing it up. Oh, I guess. There we go. Okay. Yeah, lots of little fingers. Cool. Perfect. So that's going to be my box there, right? Supposed to be 150 by 80 by 150. Okay. I'll do 3 millimeter. That's fine. I can always type in a custom thickness if I have like special wood. But I'll leave it like this. Okay, so I chose my width, my depth, and my height. I kept it from the outside because it's bugging on the inside. I chose my material thickness. I made it open instead of closed. I'd rather do fingers. T-slots, I'll show you what that is. And so now you can use screws and nuts to put it together. But yeah, I got glue, so I'll use finger joints. There we go. I like a lot of fingers. I don't like the big fingers. I like a lot of little ones. I think it holds better. I feel like it holds better. Okay. And I'm gonna hit download box plans. And this is a preview of what it's gonna show up like here. Okay. And I'm gonna download SVG or DXF. Doesn't really matter, but a lot of things like SVG, so I'm gonna do SVG here. And there it goes. It's all downloaded. All right, minimize my internet. Then I'm gonna open up my downloads folder, and there's the box.svg here. I'm gonna drag this over here. All right, got it in LightBurn. Cool. So first thing I'm gonna do, select it all and make it black, so I can know my cut lines and stuff. I also got to make sure under my mode over here that I have lines selected for the black, or else I won't be able to see anything. Okay. So let's take a look here. So we got the back, right, the front, and the left. Let's keep that in mind when we're messing with this here. So everything's in a single group. I select this, and I can't actually select anything. It's all grouped together. So up here we have the group things and ungroup things. The group is a group of people. The ungroup is a single person, right? Hit that, ungroups it. That should be enough ungrouping. Cool. So instead of deleting this right now, just to make sure I don't forget, I'm just going to drag these slightly out of here so I can work on adding designs and stuff. Okay, so this is the front piece, right? This is the piece you're going to be looking at the front. So what I'm going to do, I want to add like, I don't know, I'll add something pretty like hearts to the front. So start a new tab here. I'm just going to type in heart. Hit enter. Go to images. Go to settings. Not settings. What am I doing? Oh, here we go. DuckDuckGo already has that here. See, all types. I want clip art. Cool. And find a good shape heart. I like that one. That one's a good heart. Okay, I'm going to right click on this and copy the image. Don't even need to download it. Minimize this, and I'm going to paste the image. Okay, there we go. I've got a heart here, right? So now I'm going to select it, right? Make sure it's selected. Right click on it and hit trace image. And that's going to find the outer edge of this heart. And that's all I want here. I just want that shape. Okay. So as long as the outer edge shows up, I hit OK. Now, if I had like a multicolor or like some complex heart, like with a lot of different lines in front and back, it's going to be really tough to find that line. That's why I look for such a simple picture. That's why I select clip art. So I've got this heart image, right? Or this heart line now, right? I'm going to make it smaller. And I like to keep my aspect ratio locked up here with this lock. Like if I have it unlocked as I change this, I guess this one doesn't do it. But yeah, I don't like it to come, askew. I like to keep my aspect locked, so I keep that on. Okay, make that a little smaller here. A little smaller, there we go. And I just want 3 of these up front. So what I'm going to do now is use the array tool right here. Okay, I'm going to click that. And I want, I don't know, 3 of them up front. 3, 4. I think 4 would be good. I'm going to put a little more spacing there. Whoops, not that way. That way. All right. And I'm going to make sure I have padding between edges, not distance from center to center. In this instance, anyways. Okay. So just on the x-axis, I want 4 of these here. That's about right. Looks about right. I'll call that good. I'll hit OK. Now, if I want this centered, let's take a look here. So I select the object I want centered, then I select the object I want to center it on, right? And then I hit center, and it's going to move it there, okay? Keep that in mind. So if I were to select the box piece first, hold down Shift and select the heart, what it's going to do is move the box of the heart, okay? Right? And I kind of want the box to stay over there. So I'm going to undo that. I can either hit Control Z, or up here there's some undo redo stuff. Okay. So undo that. So first thing I select is the thing I want to move, and then the next thing I select is the anchored part. So before I get too far, if I were to select these hearts, hold down Shift and hit this and center it, I'm going to have an issue here, right? So here I'm going to go. I'm going to hit that, and now I just have 1 heart here, right? I want all 4 of them, but like centered, all 4 of them next to each other, centered on this thing. So I'm going to Control Z, undo that. Right? So I'm going to select these, and then I'm going to group them. Okay? Now, this is a single object. It's not 4 different objects, so it's not going to take all 4 of these and put them all in the same space. Now, as I move it, it moves around like an object here. Okay, so now I take this, I'm going to hold down Shift and select the box here, and do a center alignment. There we go. So now when I cut this out, it's going to have these little hearts on the front piece of the box, right? Then I'm going to take this sorry, I guess I should explain that better. I was using the selector tool. Now I'm going to use the text tool right here, okay? Just to write text. I'm going to call this the magic box. There we go. Okay. Select a real cool font. It comes with a couple interesting fonts, and then I think I added a few on here too. There we go. Some Cyberdyne, some Terminator fonts. Maybe there's a little bit better one. There we go, just solid black. Cool. Okay. Let's see. So I've got this selected. I want to center it on the box, right? So I hold down Shift, select the box here. All right, make sure that's the second thing I select, and do a center. Okay, I want to make that a little smaller, so I'm going to grab the edge, and instead of just moving it, like, whoop, don't want to hit the box. I'm going to Control Z that, unselect it, just select the text here. Now, if I select it and start making it smaller, it's going to go from the opposite corner, right? That's what it's going to compare it to. If I hold down Control, it's going to go from the center, so I can bring it smaller towards the center here. There we go. Now it's my magic box. Cool. And I'm going to make this blue and make blue over here a fill. Okay. So select it up here, make it a fill. Perfect. Cool. Okay. So that was in the upper right, by the way. So I selected it. And in the bottom, there's all these colors. That's your layers. I selected the blue one, right? Just you select the item and then you select the color, right? All sorts of colors here. And then in the upper right are your cuts and layers tabs. If it's not showing, chances are it's one of these tabs here. If it's completely lost, you can go to Windows and bring up your cuts and layers right there. So that will now show for you. Okay. So I selected that and then I went over in the upper right and with my blue layer I want to do a fill. I actually want to fill it in. If yours doesn't show like solid like this, you go to window and view styles, go to filled course. Okay? Cuz a lot of people starts with wireframe course. And so even though it's a fill, it doesn't actually show it filled, which is kind of boring. So go to window and you can go to wireframe smooth. No, not wireframe smooth. What is it? You can go to there you go, filled course or filled smooth. There we go. And filled smooth just it takes a little more video card to do that. But I think most modern computers can handle that. Okay. So what do we got here? We got a shape of the hearts. We got it labeled magic box. I also want to okay, this is a back piece, right? Right here. Whoops. Whatever. I'll leave it broken like that. Maybe. That actually annoys me. Okay. Select it all. So this is our back piece right here, right? So what I want to do is I want to have like a character looking down in the box from the back side. So let's go back to the internet here. And I think I want Snow Miser looking down. I don't know if I can find a good. No, Snow Miser was he was a puppet. He wasn't quite a cartoon. Snow Miser, yeah, that's gonna be tough. Oh, there's a cartoon version. Let's see if we can do that. No, not really. Uh, Still not right. Let's think of a good. We'll have Pikachu. There we go. We'll have Pikachu looking down at us. That's pretty good. There are a lot of good ones here. So let's find. Actually, that is a really good one. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that here. Okay. So here's Pikachu, right? Hanging out. Good black borders on the side. Right. It's gonna be really easy to do an outline trace of this. Right. We'll get a bunch of other lines in here, but we can deal with that later. Okay. But the outside edge, that's what we're looking for, is a good outside edge. So we're going to right click on Pikachu. There we go. Yep, right click on it and copy the image. Okay, minimize this again. And I'm going to zoom out a little because it might come in big. Right click and paste. All right, there's Pikachu. Cool. Okay, I'm going to right click or select it first. Sorry. Select it, right click, and hit trace image. There we go. So it's going to find edges all over the place here. And so inside, outside, around the cheeks, around the mouth. That's all right. We'll deal with that in a second here. So once I hit OK, which I just did. Sorry, that was a little fast. So I'll do that again here. I'll select it, right click, go to trace image. Looks just fine here. In the lower right, I hit OK. Perfect. And then right now, even though it's showing Pikachu here, it actually has the line I made, the trace I made selected. So I can move that selected. Oh, whoops. Whatever. Either way, they're off each other. Cool. Okay, so there's Pikachu here. All smiley and happy. Cool. And then there's the one I got from the internet. Okay, I'm going to delete this here. So now we have this cool little trace, right? I'm going to make this smaller here. So zoom out, grab a corner, make it nice and small. I'm going to sort of have it over the edge here. There we go. Okay. Wow, that tail sticks off quite a bit. Maybe bring it down a little bit. Cool. Okay. There you go. That's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to bring it so there we go. This tail comes into this. Okay. All right. So right now this is another fill, right? It's just going to engrave this. But look at the box here. Right? The box will cut it right in half. So let's fix that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this, move it back out. I know it's going to wind up there, but I'm going to make a copy of it. So I'm going to hit Control C, or I can go to Edit Copy, or I can do, let's see, what is that one? That's a copy. Yep, copy button right there. Copy, and then I can hit Paste right here, or Control V. So now I've got two of these things, right? I'm going to take the second one and turn it black. So now I get to see the lines of everything, right? I'm going to select this outer line. Well, I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to ungroup them. Cool. So now that they're ungrouped, I want this outer line. I'm also going to hold down Shift. I want this line right here, and hold down Shift still, and I want this line right here. Okay? So then I'm going to move it off. And then delete the rest of these inner lines. Okay? Going to select this, and now I'm going to move this over here. Okay? So now I've got this trace sticking on over here. There we go. Oh, a little more to the right. Cool. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is do a slight outline. I don't need to do. I'll do a slight outline here. I'll show you. There's two ways to do this, but I'll do an outline and offset, and I want it to go outward and just barely, like, I don't know, 2 millimeters is fine. There we go. Hit OK. Let's see. I guess I want those corners rounded. There you go. So I select rounding on these corners. Cool. Hit OK. Perfect. That looks pretty good. And I'll do the same thing here. I'll do an out. I guess this has to be inwards. And I'll do it even smaller. 1 millimeter. Okay. This one will be inwards. Hit that. There we go. 1 millimeter. Okay. Cool. Perfect. All right. So we've got these holes, right? So I'll show you what we're going to do here. So Pikachu's going to fit right here in the middle of it. We'll align it. Oh, I guess it aligns right there. Okay. But our line still cuts off right here. We're going to fix that. And so we're going to have Pikachu be part of the backside of the box here. So I'm going to move Pikachu away so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to select this outer line, hold down Shift, and select this box here, right, with my pointer right over the box. So I've got these two selected. I can see that because they're both dashed and sort of moving. I'm going to go over here and do a merge or a weld, whatever you want to call that. It's going to turn it all into one shaped blob. Hit that. There we go. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Get rid of that little. Oh, that's part of it now. So I'm going to ungroup that up top here. Hit that ungroup button. And then I'm going to select that little piece and delete it. Cool. So now we're going to move. Let's see. I guess we don't need this piece either. That piece or that piece. And we don't need this inner. Well, we kind of need that inner trace. And I'll show you why. Because if we're going to align Pikachu just perfect, it's got to have something to lock onto. Cool. And now can we actually, yep, there it is. So I'm going to select the backside piece. What I could also do is, let's say I cannot get that back piece selected, right? I can move this Pikachu off it. I can take this back piece that I don't want cut, and I can change to like pink or something, or this purple color. I'll change it to the purple color, and then under output, I'll deselect that so that it's no longer outputting. Cool. And now I take Pikachu, and I can center it on it real easy. It'll lock right in there. Cool. So now the wood will cut the outside here and these little inner pieces, right? So it'll cut the outside out. It'll have Pikachu here engraved onto it, right? So later will go back and forth and make that darker. It'll have little hearts as holes up front. It'll say Magic Box. And then we have the bottom here, right? Bottom's kind of Well, no, bottom's fine. We'll leave the bottom like this for this setup here. But let's see. Now we got to delete all this other baloney. So get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay, so that's a back. That's a front. That's left, right, bottom. Okay. And so yeah, now it has little labels. And I guess we could label the sides, but that wouldn't be much different than what we just did here. So then I would take it. Oh, I'm still missing something, aren't I? So the problem right now is if I were to cut it, it's going to cut my lines first, and then it's going to it's going to engrave the things onto it. Now the biggest problem with that is wood is often curved. It's not flat typically. Like unless you're buying like the pre-made expensive stuff for lasers, it's not usually flat. And so typically there's a little bit of a fall. Like the piece of wood will fall a little bit as it cuts through, and then it might actually shift a little. So you might not get like perfect distances between the edges of your engravings. And so what we want to do here, I'm going to bring my mouse over here into the cuts layers area. I'm going to select that fill. So I clicked on it. And then there's some arrows to the right of it here. I'm going to move that up. And there we go. So now it's going to do that first. And just to make sure it's doing things in the right order, there's this little monitor looking button up top here. I'm going to click that. And it's going to show me a preview of what happens. So I'm going to bring the slider bar here, the time bar, right? And I'm going to start moving it. And there it goes. So it's engraving where it says Magic Box, and it engraves Pikachu. Perfect. Looking good here. And then it cuts those little holes inside Pikachu there, and then starts cutting. You can see that it doesn't cut through him anymore. It goes around, and then cuts that one, cuts the little hearts, and then starts cutting the box, and then cuts the bottom. And there we have a fancy little box. So of course you need to adjust your feeds and speeds. This is all set up for diode lasers, because that's what I do in my office usually. But downstairs we have the CO2 lasers, great for cutting. Anyways, hopefully this helps you guys out. Thanks for watching.